I got married this year in March 2017. We stayed at the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs in room 208. My husband chose the place because we both love small towns, old towns with quaint shopping, antiques and such. And most of all, we just love old historic buildings and hotels. So he was researching the hotel after making reservations and learned that the Crescent was known to be haunted, which was very exciting to me. I have in the past, at one time, experienced what I think is a ghost or a spirit in a historic mansion called the Say Mansion in Kingfisher, Oklahoma, which I'm in the process of making a video on that because I do have quite a story to tell with that one. The Crescent Hotel was built in 1886. It was built as a luxury hotel. They thought that people would come to it because of the supposed healing waters of the Eureka Springs to cure ailments. And later people realized that the water wasn't healing them, and the hotel declined and it shut down. In 1908 to 1924, it became a college and a conservatory for young women. And then after that, it was abandoned for 6 years. In 1937, a man named Norman Baker bought the hotel, and he opened a cancer hospital. He was advertising miracle cures, which was really nothing more than a scam. He was later convicted for practicing medicine without a license. And then over the years, it passed through several hands, and finally until now that it's been updated and restored back to a luxury hotel. The history of the haunted hotel, several people had died, ranging from the masonries from the construction to the cancer patients, to one of the girls at the conservatory supposedly had jumped out of the window. So there are several claims that several of these spirits have shown up in different rooms. So I'm going to tell you, the experience that I had in room 208 at the Crescent Hotel. We took some photos for our scrapbook in the room here that you see. There's a beautiful sitting room when you enter. The bedroom's in the next room. And then beyond that is a small bathroom with a really nice jacuzzi tub. Nothing was really out of the ordinary that night. Nothing happened. The next day, we spent all day out shopping, eating, and we were really tired. We just decided to eat pizza and watch TV in bed. Since we were on our honeymoon, I decided to bring several of those battery-operated candles for, a nice romantic setting. And before we got there, I did suggest to my husband, we should do maybe like a quiet seance, something to bring in a spirit into our room and see what really happens. He was very much against it. He doesn't like doing that kind of thing. So before we got in bed and ate the pizza, I took 5 of the candles that I brought, and there's this big table that's in the parlor that's in the center of the room. I thought, I'm going to put these candles on this table and set them up, one on each corner and the one in the center. I thought I would try something without making a big deal with my husband so that he would agree to maybe bring some sort of soft conjuring for a spirit. And then we turned off the heat, since it's known that spirits like to appear when it's really cold. I didn't take any pictures of what I had done because we weren't expecting anything, so the photos that you're seeing are just pictures of, the room we stayed in. I wish I would have taken a picture of the jacuzzi tub and, the candles on the table, but unfortunately I didn't. But it did look very ritual-like with one on each corner and one in the center. As soon as I turned on the candles, the jacuzzi tub just turned on all by itself. And my husband and I looked at each other like, okay, that was very weird. So we went to bed. At one point, I woke up. I just glanced in the parlor and thought I saw a shadow moving over this chair that's next to the fireplace. And I was so tired, I thought maybe I was just dreaming or maybe wanting to see something. So I woke my husband up and I said, "Could you look over by that chair and do you see any kind of shadow?" And he didn't see anything, and then I couldn't see anything anymore. So we went back to sleep. The next thing that was sort of strange, my husband does snore occasionally, and I could hear something coming from him. He was turned away from me, so I couldn't see his face, but it sounded like a young woman was crying or sort of whimpering or sobbing. And it only happened a few times, and I've never heard my husband make that noise when he was snoring. The next morning, I got up to turn the heat on. The table that had the 5 candles only had 1 candle left lit, and it was the one in the center. And all 4 of the other ones in each corner were out. My husband then told me he thought he heard the floor creaking in the parlor, but he wasn't sure because the hotel is old and occasionally we could hear people in the hall and above us. The next day, when I started looking through my photos, was this one particular photo by the chair where I thought I saw the shadow move, appears with one of those castings of a ghost, you know, those glows. I don't know if all of this is just a coincidence. You know, the jacuzzi turning on by itself, all 5 candles, the only one left and was the center one, the shadow that I saw above the chair, the floor creaking in the middle of the night, and then the strange girl sounding noise that was coming in, that was in the bed that it could have been him snoring, but I'd never heard that before. I just wanted to share that for anyone staying at the Crescent in room 208.